guys, my name is Kyuna Kim. I'm a 12th grader who was born and raised in Alabama, and I've been playing the violin for 12 years. This is my first year with the NYO-USA, and I'm so excited to go on tour with everyone and perform in Europe this August. I'm so excited to be here and to share some tips and tricks that I use in my everyday practice. Today, I'm going to be addressing the age-old problem of trying to fix your intonation and offer some tricks that I use in my everyday practice. I have perfect pitch, and there's a lot of debates on whether that's actually a blessing or a curse. It's a blessing if you're a musician trying to work on your intonation, but it's a curse when you're stuck in a car with your friends who are singing and they don't really know they're out of tune. But anyways, I myself can't decide whether perfect pitch is good or bad, but I do know that it comes with such high expectations. Ever since I was younger, my parents and everyone around me always expected me to have perfect intonation because I had perfect pitch. This always caused me so much stress to the point where I honestly wanted to quit violin. But after sticking with it for 12 years now, I've found a few things that I use in my practice to make practicing intonation a little bit easier. Tip number 1, practice slowly. I'm sure you guys have heard this so many times by now, but I think it's important enough to say it one more time. I know it seems kind of counterintuitive to practice slowly if you want to finish your practice quicker, but trust me, the only thing that's going to happen quicker is you're going to get frustrated. So practice slowly. Tip number 2, use a tuner. Now, when people think of practicing intonation, most of them usually turn for a tuner. And practicing with a tuner is pretty straightforward. You just turn it on and you watch the needle move and you see if your intonation is correct. But this method is probably not going to be as effective as some of the other tips that I have for you today. Tip number 3, use drone notes. A slightly more effective way of using your tuner is to turn it on and set it to play drone notes. So for example, let's just say that you're practicing Lalo Symphony Español Movement 5 in D major. Then what you would do is you would turn on your tuner to play a drone note of D because it's in D major, and you would harmonize all of your notes to that D. Tip number 4, the popcorn. Now, I don't know about you, but I have this really bad habit of once I place my fingers down and I hear the note when it's off, I just quickly move my fingers and pretend that I didn't play it wrong in the first place. And this could be okay in a performance, but when you're practicing, you're just training yourself to hit the wrong note first and then move it to the right note. So that's not really practicing your intonation. To prevent this kind of practicing, my teacher showed me this method that he calls the popcorn. So what you do is you place your finger down to play and you completely disregard the rhythms. And then you play each note just enough to hear the sound, but not long enough so that you can change where your finger is positioned. And you do that and you practice your intonation, and in that way you're going to be learning how to actually hit the notes and not how to hit a wrong note and adjust. Tip number 5, the SloMo. Now, this one is probably the most effective, but it's also the most frustrating, so do this one at your own risk. But basically what you do is you play everything at full tempo, or a certain excerpt that you want to practice your intonation, but you record yourself. Then you go back and you make it half speed and you listen back to your intonation. And if you have an Apple product, iMovie works really well for that. And once you listen to it back, then you'll know exactly which ones are incorrect, and you can just go back and fix those notes. So to summarize everything, here are the 5 main points that we covered in this video today. Number 1, practice slowly. None of these other tips work if you don't practice slowly. Number 2, don't always reach for the tuner when you're practicing. It may be tempting, but there are so many more effective ways to practice your intonation than just watching a tuner. Don't train your eyes, train your ears. Number 3, use drone notes to listen to your harmonies and adjust your pitch by listening to just one note. Number 4, use the popcorn method to listen to your intonation and to avoid the temptation of adjusting your notes once you place your fingers down. Number 5, play and record yourself practicing a certain excerpt and then play it back at half speed to really listen to your pitch. Thank you so much for watching my NYO-U mini masterclass on improving intonation. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go and subscribe to NYO-USA for more videos like these.